and she likes cinnamon on hers. So I'm going to steal a sip. It's nice with the cinnamon too. All right, we got a big day in front of us, so let's get wired. And then something you don't find in Portugal is iced tea with actual ice in it. Put Café Versailles on your list. It's not in the middle of a lot of tourist places, but it's definitely worth your while to come out here. Welcome to Destination Eat Drink, the travel channel for foodies. I'm Brent Peterson. I'm an American living in Portugal. Today we are in Lisbon, and I wanted to do a video in the Marques de Pombal and Parque neighborhoods. This is a very popular neighborhood with international students. Lots of students are here, international and otherwise. So it gives it a young vibe. It's also very modern. The business district is here. So, you know, you've got a lot of newer, cool, hip places, but you also can find some traditional Portuguese places. And this is where one of the biggest parks in Lisbon is as well. So we're going to start off at this place called Marquês. And there's plenty of traditional cafes where you can get a regular Portuguese coffee, but this is a third wave brewing place. And so I wanted to come here and get a little fancy coffee. Flat white. Our friends Mindy and Daryl from Two Food Trippers turned us onto this place, so it's really nice. If you like this kind of food and travel content, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. See, I got two in front of me. One's for Karen, and she likes cinnamon on hers. So I'm going to steal a sip. It's nice with the cinnamon too. All right, we got a big day in front of us, so let's get wired. It's good. This is the Park of Edward VII, and this was built in 1903 to commemorate the British King visiting Lisbon. Portugal and England have a long-standing good relationship, and back in the day when England was constantly at war with France and Portugal was often at war with Spain, the two countries would assist each other. And one of the results of that was when Britain was at war with France, they couldn't get French wine. So they started importing Portuguese wine, specifically port wine. So if you go to England, they have a nice taste for port wine there. But anyway, this is a beautiful open space here in the heart of Lisbon, and it's a great place just to come hang out. You see, there's no, in this particular part, there's no big trees or anything, so when the sun is shining, it's absolutely gorgeous, and you got views all the way from here down to the river. Be a nice place to maybe enjoy a nice cold beverage or maybe a picnic or something, but it's definitely one of the best green spaces here in Lisbon. And on the very north end of the park is where they usually are flying the largest Portuguese flag in all of Portugal. So that's quite a sight to see when the wind picks up. If you're in Lisbon and you just can't live without your Chef Boyardee SpaghettiOs or your Lucky Charms or your Kraft macaroni and cheese, the Liberty American Store is the place to go. This is Alino Abo. That translates to my grandmother, and this is like a Portuguese comfort food place, but it's all vegan. And I don't know how many Portuguese grandmothers made delicious vegan food like this. I got something called a bitoque. It's a classic Portuguese dish. It's meat that's cooked in a white wine and garlic sauce. In this case, it's seitan cooked in white wine garlic sauce, and it usually served with an egg, a fried egg on top. This is served with I don't know how they did it, but a vegan fried egg. So, and then this is something that we had to get used to when we moved to Portugal. On the side, you get French fries and rice, both of them together. Takes some getting used to have all that starch, but it's always tasty. It's good to have, and it fills you up. So let's give the bitoque a try. Oh wow! Seitan is really tender and moist. Usually, a a lot of times it's like dry and chewy, and this is not like that at all. There's little slivers of garlic in here too. This is really, really nice. Good job. And then something you don't find in Portugal is iced tea with actual ice in it. Super tasty. This is really good. Glad we stopped here. This is the Botanical Garden of the Edward VII Park, and I can't believe in the 3.5 years that we've lived just outside of Lisbon, I've never come here before. I've been to the park many, many times, but never come into this Botanical Garden, and it is super cool in here. First of all, they've got all of these tropical plants and some native plants in here, and water features like the one behind me, and there's some roosters in here somewhere. I haven't seen them yet. But it's absolutely gorgeous in here, and it's less than $4 per person to come in. The only thing is, if you've only got a foreign issued credit card, like an American credit card, they won't take it. They only take Portuguese issued credit cards. So if you only have a foreign issued credit card, you'll have to pay cash. So keep that in mind. The other great thing, this is all covered up here. So in the heat of the Portuguese summer, and it does get really hot here in the summer in Lisbon, it's probably 10 to 15 degrees cooler inside this botanical garden. So makes for a nice respite from the summer heat. Absolutely stunning though. It's so deceptive. This just keeps going on and on and on back here. You'd never know just from looking from the outside. Now we're in not just a covered area, but in a greenhouse. So it's warm in here, but you've got some beautiful tropical plants and a bunch of cacti as well. Absolutely stunning. This is my mother's daughter, and we decided to stop for a little quick snack. Just got a couple of things. This is a soup made with zucchini and pennyroyal. Don't often see that here in Portugal. Fresh, tasty. And then a little salad, pickled onion, tomato, lettuce, and then some of the longest zucchini spirals I've ever seen. Tasty. The dressing, horseradish or something in there, that's tasty, and then oil and vinegar with a little bit of herbs, so that's tasty. And then the juice of the day, carrot, apple, maybe some strawberry, and then the rim is coated with ginger to give it a nice little kick. This place is super chill. Love the outdoor seating here, right on the sidewalk. Right next door is a little square. Been under construction for like the last 3 years, ever since we've been here in Portugal. And looks like they finally finished it. And it's empty, but at least it's done. So I'm gonna enjoy this before we move on. Good stuff. So I told you this neighborhood, the Marques de Pombal, was very busy, and you can see behind me this roundabout is super, super busy, one of the busiest in Lisbon, and surrounded here is the university and a bunch of financial services buildings. Super, super busy, pretty modern for Lisbon at least. And behind me is the guy, the Marques de Pombal. He was a real guy, lived in the 18th century. He wasn't royal, he was an appointed political head. So in 1750, he was appointed Prime Minister of Portugal by the King. And that's an important date because in 1755, Lisbon was leveled by a 9.0 magnitude earthquake. Destroyed almost the entire city. Few areas were left not completely leveled, but most of the city completely leveled. And the Marquis took it upon himself the rebuilding effort. And it was a good thing that he did because the king had basically abdicated his powers. He was probably suffering from PTSD as we would know it today. and was terrified of being caught indoors during an earthquake. So he spent the rest of his years sleeping outdoors, did not want to be inside ever again. And the Marquis took advantage of this, and he consolidated his power. He ruled with an iron fist. He took down his political opponents, but he also rebuilt Lisbon. And if you look around Lisbon, a lot of it comes from that 18th century effort to rebuild Lisbon. That's the guy to thank for it. It ain't all good with him, though. He also greatly expanded the slave trade, enriched himself through the slave trade, and surprisingly, in Brazil, Portugal brought over more than 10 times the amount of African slaves than the English and the French did and the Spanish did to the United States colonies. So incredible to think about that. As bad as slavery was in the United States, as horrible as it was over 10 times more slaves brought to Brazil. And that's the guy who's responsible for a lot of it. So complicated legacy, to say the least. So this place is a little outside of Marques de Pombal. It's in the Saldanha neighborhood, but it's just 2 metro stops away. And I really wanted to come here today for this video. This is Café Versailles. It's one of these opulent Portuguese cafes, and it's just absolutely gorgeous in here. Karen and I have been here before, and we just really like this place. So I wanted to include it in this video. Got a little coffee because we're Portuguese. We have to have more than one coffee every single day. That's a nice abatanado. So you can see this is larger than your espresso. Has some more water in it, but still strong and good. And then a couple of these nice cookies. Ooh. All right, this one's really soft. Cinnamon, yum. Oh, these are both soft. I thought when I saw the top of this, it was going to be like really crispy, almost meringue. No. Wow. Okay. Maybe a little molasses in there. Really rich and delicious. Yum. So good pit stop here before we finish up this video today. Put Café Versailles on your list. It's not in the middle of a lot of tourist places, but it's definitely worth your while to come out here. Beautiful cafe. This is the Galveias Palace Library behind me. And this is one of the cool things about Portugal is a lot of old churches and palaces have been converted into public and private spaces. So I can think of, there was one that we went to, a church we went to, that had been converted into a social security office. It's kind of funny. And there was a church that we visited recently that had been turned into a bookstore. Well, this was an old palace, and this is now a public library. And you go inside, just like any library, stacks and stacks of books, tons of students in there studying, but also incredible tile work and just magnificent architecture. And then in the back here, this beautiful courtyard that I'm sure the royals enjoyed hundreds of years ago. So it's a cool spot. It's not in Marques de Pombal. We had to walk out here about 15 minutes, but not too far away. And I've been wanting to come here for a long time. Every time I walk by, Karen's like, oh, we should go inside. And every time we go by, it's closed. So today it's open. We definitely came by, and it's a very cool spot on the inside. You know, libraries are awesome to hang out in if you're, you know, looking for a little respite from the busy city. It's relaxing, and you can just hang there for as long as you want and not be bothered, not be asked to leave or anything. So it's a good spot. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're considering visiting the neighborhoods of Parque and Marques de Pombal. They're not really on the tourist trail, but they're certainly worth it. Some good food, some good coffee there, and the park and the botanical gardens are absolutely stunning. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you're coming to Portugal, definitely pick up a copy of my ebook. You won't find it in that library because it's ebook only, but it's a guide to Portugal and 17 cities and towns with all the best things to do and the best things to eat and drink. Unique dishes and drinks in all of those cities. Get that at buymeacoffee.com/destination eat drink. And thanks to all my patrons. This one is for Brandon in the basement, who's been supporting me pretty much since day one. You can support me also at buymeacoffee.com/destination eat drink. I'm Brent Peterson. See you down the road.